Okay, welcome back everybody. We are working on part 4 for the Communication Merit Badge, starting on page 57, planning a program. Can we see that? We can see that a little bit. Okay, planning a program. Planning and serving as Master of Ceremonies at a troop, Court of Honor, campfire program, or interfaith service, requirement number 8, is one of the most important and challenging undertakings you will face in earning the Communication Merit Badge. You will be in charge of making sure committees complete their work on time. You will also need to handle any organizational details in order to present a successful program. Planning a campfire program. Planning a campfire program is much easier if you use the standard campfire program planning form. The form, reproduced later in this section, comes from the Troop Program Resources website at www.programresources.org. As the Master of the Campfire, or MC, you must put songs, stunts, and stories in a good sequence for the program. First, be sure that every feature of your campfire program upholds the highest traditions and ideals of scouting. Next, think about timing, variety, smoothness, and showmanship. You must plan the opening, closing, and headliner or main event. You also must designate the song leader and cheerleader. Help them develop a plan that details the songs and yells they will lead and their order on the program. Here are some additional details you will need to discuss during the campfire planning session with your troop and unit leader. Who will set the campfire area? Who will build the campfire? Who will put the campfire out after the program? Which troop members will clean up afterward? Complete the campfire program planner and campfire program in pencil because you will probably make changes later. List all participants in the program. Then note the name, description, and type of each song, stunt, or story in the program. Before the campfire begins, the MC fills in the campfire program sheet and gives copies of the program to all participants. The MC then opens the campfire program with a greeting and introduces the song leader, cheerleader, and the various acts, songs, and yells. When the glowing embers of your campfire begin to fade, close the program with a note of quiet inspiration and refer to the value of scouting in daily life. This can be done in many ways. For example, you could ask all to stand, bow their heads, and recite the Scout benediction together. Now may the great Scout, Master of all Scouts, be with us until we meet again. Then have the Scouts leave the area quietly. Another way to end the program is to have a troop member stand some distance from the fire and play taps on the bugle. Then have a scout repeat this softly. These are not the only choices. Use your imagination. So going back to page 57, the little tip box to the right of the page, a full-size campfire program planner form is available on the Troop Program Resources website. Ask your parents' permission before visiting the site. The tip on page 58, to the left of the page, lighting is important to all ceremonies. Have the performers stand behind the campfire so that the fire lights up the participants. Okay, planning a court of honor. Courts of honor require even more careful planning than campfire programs. A court of honor is convened when members of Scouts BSA achieve Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star, Life, and Eagle ranks. Write out your plan, assign roles, and then have key members rehearse their parts. Use the checklist provided near the end of this section as a guide to help you through the court of honor planning process. Develop your own ideas. Get feedback from other troop members and parents on how to make the ceremony even more memorable. Remember to complete your checklist in pencil so you can make changes easily. Have a written program for the Scouts and the adults who will be presenting the awards. Rehearse, if possible, in the place where you will be serving as Master of Ceremonies. If scripts are needed, be sure to give a copy to participants well in advance. As you plan the ceremony, Keep the following tips in mind. Lighting. Lighting is important to all ceremonies. Use it to help create a sense of drama and excitement. For instance, you can also use a spotlight to recognize recipients during the Court of Honor. By following the script, you will be able to prepare in advance for the lighting techniques you want to use during the ceremony. If you have access to the ceremony site earlier in the planning process, take the time to learn how to operate lighting controls. Find out what lighting resources are available. Depending on the facility's lighting, you may have access to stage lights, spotlights, colored lighting. Arrive early the day of the ceremony to inspect the lighting controls and be sure you know how to switch the lights off and on. Practice the timing for using the lighting controls so that the program goes smoothly. The green box on page 59. Consider the following basic procedures as you develop your plan. The Scouts enter carrying the troop and patrol flags. The Court of Honor members enter. The Color Guard enters carrying the colors. The Scouts and audience members stand at attention. The parents and audience members join the Scouts in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. An appointed person presents an appropriate opening ceremony. The court chair or master of ceremonies convenes the Court of Honor. The court chair calls on members of the court to present the awards. Participants present special program features, Scout demonstrations, a brief address, or singing. The Color Guard retires the colors. The Court of Honor may close with the troop's regular closing ceremony. Decorations. The right decorations can transform a bare room into a special place for any Court of Honor. Crepe paper, neckerchiefs, scouting posters, scout skill displays, merit badge displays, and knot boards are a few examples. Audio visuals. The BSA has many videos and slide programs that are appropriate for use during a Court of Honor ceremony. Ask your Scoutmaster about these. Enhancing the Court of Honor with good sound equipment and carefully selected music will give the ceremony a polished touch. Props. Props add special flair to any ceremony. Use your imagination. You may want to make an advancement board that displays the progress of each scout in the troop or patrol. At the Court of Honor, some troops present a handsome plaque to Eagle Scouts. Many Scouts and Scouters have created web pages with tons of imaginative, dramatic ideas for Court of Honor ceremonies. With your parents' permission, search the internet. Type Courts of Honor Scouting into a good search engine, and you will find many excellent resources. An engraved nameplate on the plaque shows their name, troop number, and date of the ceremony. Here are more ideas for props. A candle log, a log drilled with holes used as a candle holder, an artificial campfire made with a flashlight, logs, and sheets of red, yellow, and orange cellophane, a badge holder, a surface such as a felt-covered tray used to display advancement badges, pens, and cards. Flags from your troop, place of worship, and state, as well as a U.S. flag, are appropriate in ceremonies. Be certain to display and carry flags correctly. A troop scrapbook. The troop historian, who helps maintain the troop scrapbook, can assist you with this. Planning an interfaith service. Worshipping with fellow Scouts and Scouters is a fine way to live the 12th point of the Scout Law. A Scout is reverent, and the part of the Scout Oath that addresses duty to God. At Scouting activities where it is not practical to carry out multiple religious services, it would make sense to have a single interfaith religious service. Consider that some religions have specific requirements based on their own beliefs that would not be fulfilled through an interfaith service. Carefully choose elements such as scripture, prayers, hymns, and all other parts of worship. Be considerate of everyone present. Be respectful of all religions. The tip box to the right of the page, truth in advertising, is extremely important here. If a service is advertised as interfaith, then it really needs to be interfaith. Tip box on page 62. If there is a good chance that people of the Jewish faith will be present and you are using printed materials, it would be considerate to use the term G-D instead, as many Jews do not write the name of God. The name of the service should be clear. Interfaith service and outdoor worship service are a couple of practical examples. Be sure everyone understands that the service is for all religious faiths and everyone is invited. Choose songs, readings, and other content carefully so that everyone will feel comfortable during the service. Here are some basic guidelines for conducting interfaith religious services. The word God generally is accepted by most faith groups and is the term used in all phases of Scouting. This term means the Creator or Divine Spirit. It is not intended to be a limiting term. Many other names can be used to represent God. Use God rather than specific names such as Jesus, Buddha, Allah, or Holy Spirit that are related to specific religions. Also, avoid male nouns and pronouns such as Father, Heavenly Father, or His, which may be disrespectful in some religions. Pick a theme for the service that fits with a specific weekend or time of year. This helps focus the prayers, songs, and message in a meaningful way and ties the religious service into a weekend event. Avoid isolating the service so it feels like a separate activity. Possible themes include God's creation, Thanksgiving, the great outdoors, forest, ocean, doing one's best, and on the trail of the eagle. Keep songs generic. Do not call them hymns. The words should address God rather than Jesus, Buddha, and so on. This can be challenging since the list of worship songs that are both usable and familiar is fairly short. Choose quotations and readings wisely and that fit the theme or the message of the service. The length of time required for a good religious service varies. Consider the time of day, age of the participants, and other elements. However, don't shortchange this experience by wedging it into a 15-minute spot. For instance, between a major activity and dinner. Make the interfaith service a meaningful part of each Scouting weekend. When a speaker delivers a message, avoid use of the religion-specific words, sermon, or homily. Be sure that the speaker understands that this is an interfaith experience. Choose a topic that relates to all who will attend. Any message presented should steer clear of specific religious beliefs, for instance, biblical themes. Pick a comfortable location for the interfaith service that fits with the theme of the service and enhances the religious experience. Try to avoid the display of religious symbols such as the cross, although this may be hard to do if you are using a chapel with affixed symbols. In any case, try to be sure that all appropriate religious symbols are represented. Keep a working file of Scouting interfaith services that you attend. Make notes about what worked well and share this with those who may be asked to plan future interfaith services. You can find additional ideas for interfaith services by searching the internet with your parents' permission. Use the search terms Scout Interfaith Services or Scout's Own Service, the former name used for interfaith services. So the following pages all have sample logs of the Campfire Program Planner, the Campfire Program, checklist for courts of honor, and ceremonies. And then starting on page 68, it has ideas for interfaith services. This is a bunch of information. Sample interfaith worship service, an invocation, responsive readings. So a sample of a prayer for food, for raiment, for life, for opportunity, for friendship and fellowship. We thank you, O Lord. And that is the Philmont Grace. A call to worship, a responsive reading. Leader, a true and worthy person recognizes his or her obligations and does them without being watched or compelled. The Scouts respond, a Scout is trustworthy. The next part, we owe much to many, to home, school, community, nation, and to God. Scouts respond, a Scout is loyal. And this goes all the way through the Scout laws. So loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. So that's just some examples. I'm not going to read through all of that, but You guys get the idea. The next and final section for us is page 71, talking about careers in communication. A career in communication will give you many choices. As in most fields, the better your education, the more likely your success. Many communication professionals have bachelor's degrees from colleges with journalism or communication departments. Their specialty might be public relations, advertising, or print or broadcast journalism. Others may have a bachelor's or an advanced degree in business, law, or engineering. Competition for communication positions is fierce, and more students are learning to work with all types of media. Training in technology is very helpful because many communication specialists now work mostly with websites and other digital media. This is because of the links among video, audio, and text in online communication. If you hope to enter the communication field, be prepared to be a jack of all trades, rather than specialize in only one area. Doing so will give you an edge over those who have a more narrow expertise. The tip to the right of the page: most college students seek internships or other related work experiences so they will graduate with useful career-related skills. Page 72, advertising. If you are creative and like to write, you may want to be a copywriter. This professional writes the text or copy for advertisements and commercials. Other advertising careers include account executive, sales manager, advertising or marketing specialist, media planner, creative director, media sales representative, and public opinion researcher. There is a healthy market for management and corporate trainers. These communication specialists help individuals develop or sharpen special types of skills like project or time management, customer service, and presentation skills. Communication education. Most communication educators teach at four-year colleges, but communication teachers also work at elementary and secondary schools and community colleges. To teach, you will need at least a bachelor's degree related to the subject you will be teaching. Big universities and graduate schools prefer that instructors be trained in specific areas such as organizational communication, rhetoric, and public address, or interpersonal communication. Careers in this field include language arts coordinator, high school speech teacher, forensic, debate coach, drama director, college or university professor, and speech communication department chair. Electronic media, radio, and television broadcasting. Network newscasters and talk show hosts are considered by many to be glamorous positions in this field. However, radio and television offer far more off-camera and off-microphone positions than on-air ones. Many of these are technical, creative, sales, and administrative careers. Positions include broadcast station manager, video audio librarian, community relations director, unit manager, video audio editor, news director, news writer, transmitter engineer, technical director, media buyer, market researcher, producer, casting director, researcher, and floor manager. That's a lot. Journalism, print or electronic. Journalism involves researching and gathering information and communicating it to the public through written, spoken, visual, or electronic means. Careers in journalism include reporter, editor, photographer, newscaster, author, script writer, publisher, news service researcher, technical writer, and acquisitions editor. Converging media. Today, print and broadcast are converging, coming together. Video, audio, editing, and production positions are now common at transitional print media companies. Today's newspaper reporters are almost as likely to carry a small video camera as a notebook and pen. Likewise, there are print-related positions at broadcast media companies. For example, reporters may write news updates for a broadcaster's website. Web editors and producers are in demand at all kinds of media companies. Completely new media are forming. One such example is the professionally produced blog, which may have millions of viewers. Often, people with good training in journalism and communication operate these sites. If you plan to pursue a career in the communication field, look for classes and training in writing, editing, radio, and TV production, as well as web production. You may specialize later, but it is wise to cover all the bases as you prepare. Web-related careers. Some of the newest positions in the digital age are webmaster, web developer, web designer, information architect, web producer, graphic designer, programmer, multimedia specialist, systems administrator, and e-commerce specialist. Still, other positions involve developing, monitoring, and managing websites. Public relations. This field usually involves managing the public image of an organization or an individual. Careers in public relations include publicity manager, advertising manager, marketing specialist, press agent, lobbyist, corporate public affairs specialist, account executive, development officer, fundraiser, membership recruiter, sales manager, media analyst, media planner, creative director, audience analyst, news writer, and public opinion researcher. Off-stage positions exist in theater management, instruction, technical, and production positions. Careers in performing arts include performing artist, scriptwriter, producer, director, costume designer, scenic designer, lighting designer, theater critic, makeup artist, stage manager, model, theater professor, casting director. Local theater groups or performing arts venues may offer internships to those interested in learning more about these fields. Theater, performing arts, dramatic arts. Stars do exist in this glitzy industry, but successful performing careers are few and far between. The majority of actors do not reach star status. Rather, many performers take advantage of theatrical opportunities found in professional, community, and educational theaters across the country. Choosing a career. Think about which careers in communication might suit you. Choose one position that interests you. Research the primary responsibilities of that position and the qualifications, education, and preparation it requires. See the resources section at the end of this pamphlet. Share what you learn when you and your buddy meet with your counselor to discuss Requirement 9. Now that you have finished the requirements for your Communication Merit Badge, you should have a much better understanding of how important effective communication is to every aspect of daily life. Whether you are communicating with your family and friends, troop members, elders, or the general public, the skills you learned to meet your badge requirements will serve you well throughout your life. The last few pages of your Merit Badge book are resources in communication. So this has just got a bunch of information about where you can find more information on communication. So that is the last of the Communication Merit Badge. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully it's helpful for anybody that needs to have the book read to them.